Today's video is something that is really close to my heart. It's something that I struggled with for years, 15 years to be exact, because I know all too well how devastating and horrible it is to have to deal with the aftermath of overeating or binge eating. Whether it was a weekend, a holiday, a stressful day, just know that you are not alone, and I have dealt with all of the above and more, and you are definitely not the only one. This video is not about how to burn it off at the gym or skip your next meal. This video is about kindness and showing yourself the compassion that you deserve after this has happened to you. For those of you that are new here, my name is Anna. I'm a 37-year-old mom of 4, and I just went back to school to study nutritional medicine. I'm in my second year now, and 6 years ago, I fully recovered and completely healed my relationship with food, body image, and I am living proof that full recovery is possible. I struggled with overeating, binge eating, all of the above from when I was a teenager until my early 30s. So I have a lot of experience in this, and I know what really works to heal your relationship and to heal yourself fully. So let's talk about some real life strategies that you can actually put into practice the next day to help yourself heal. These are not about punishing yourself. These are about looking after yourself and taking care of yourself the way that you deserve. So let's start the very next morning after you binge eat. You're gonna wake up, and the first thing you're not gonna do is skip breakfast. I know that this might sound counterintuitive, but honestly, skipping breakfast is the worst thing you could possibly do. Even if it's just something small, it's really important to get your blood sugar stable, to eat something with protein, carbs, and fat in it that will set your blood sugar up for the rest of the day at a stable level that will help you to come off that roller coaster effect that you're probably still on from the night before. Skipping breakfast will just put you back into that restriction binge cycle that you're trying so hard to get out of. So honestly, if you do one thing the next day, do not skip breakfast. I understand if you're not super hungry. Even if you just eat something small that has the 3 food groups in it, protein, carbs, and fat, this will make so much of a difference, especially later on in the day. The next tip that I have for you guys is to eat every 2 to 3 hours. This kind of goes hand in hand with the breakfast thing. You really don't want to restrict your food. You do not want to starve yourself the following day, because that will keep you stuck in that cycle of restrict, binge, and you will just end up back at square one, back where you started, and you do not want that. So like I said, even if you don't feel particularly hungry, try to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Try to make sure that you have the 3 food groups in every single meal. Eating every 2 to 3 hours also is your way of keeping your body feeling safe so that it doesn't go back into that starvation mode, which is ultimately going to lead up to another binge. Binge eating is actually your body's natural reaction to restriction. Even if it's not physical restriction and it's mental restriction, that can also affect your body in the same way, because your brain is part of your body and it's all connected. So even if you're mentally restricting, so you might be eating the foods, but you're mentally like, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this. That can also lead to problems further on with binging, because your body feels under fire constantly and it feels like it's unsafe. By eating every 2 to 3 hours, it helps your body feel safe, and it helps it feel like it's not in starvation mode, which is ultimately going to protect it from feeling the need to binge later on. Another really important one, and one that you'll probably feel inclined to do anyway, is to keep hydrated. So drink lots and lots of water. That's going to help you a lot to reduce puffiness, reduce inflammation, which you're probably experiencing from the night before, which is perfectly normal. It's your body's way of recovering. It's also going to help with digestion and flushing things out, getting things going, which is always a good thing. So water is your best friend. If you feel up to it, going for a gentle walk, preferably outdoors, is going to be amazing for you the next day. So I know I talk about walking so much, and sometimes I feel like a broken record because I'm just basically saying the same things over and over. Blood sugar balancing, walking, blah, blah, blah. But walking honestly is such an incredible thing to do because it's low impact exercise, doesn't put stress on the body. It gets you outside, it gets you in fresh air, it gets you breathing deeply, and it's healthy for your heart, it's healthy for your body without being too too stressful. And you don't want to put your body under stress. You also don't want to get into a cycle where you are trying to burn off or punish yourself for what you did the night before. That is not what this is. This is a slow, gentle, low impact walk that will just get you out of the house, get you out in nature, get you feeling a lot better about yourself, because there's nothing worse when you're feeling sluggish than staying indoors, closing the curtains. You just end up feeling worse. I don't know about you guys, but when I get out and when I get moving, I feel so much better, especially when it's not in a punishing way. Also bearing in mind, it does not have to be a long walk. Even 10 to 15 minutes can work wonders. This one should go without saying, but I'm guilty of it. I still remember probably one of the first times that this happened to me. I had just started getting into dieting, and I was probably about, I want to say 17, 18, and I had been really, really good, quote unquote good, with my diet. I had kept my calories really low for the whole week, and then me and my friends had a slumber party, and we all obviously brought junk food, and it was like a crazy binge. A binge after weeks and weeks of restriction. I didn't know back then, but it was my body's natural way of dealing with all of the restriction. I had cut my calories way too low, and it was just not appropriate, especially not for a 17, 18-year-old. I remember the following day I weighed myself and was so upset because all of the weight that I had lost, I gained back overnight. A couple of reasons why weighing yourself the next day after a binge is completely pointless. Number one, it's not going to be accurate. A lot of that is just going to be water weight, inflammation, and just food that is still in your body and you haven't digested yet. So it really is pointless. You need to give yourself a break, okay? It is the worst thing that you could possibly do. It's just gonna mess with you mentally. And I do not like the scale for this reason, because I feel like people in general just have a really bad relationship with it. If you use it this way, it's just not accurate at all, so it's completely pointless. The last thing you want to be doing is weighing yourself after you binge eat or overeat. I don't love the scale anyway. I don't think it's an accurate representation of how healthy people are. So I would do without, but if you really have to go there, I would leave at least a couple of days, if not a week. Another technique that really helped me in my recovery was to get curious. Try not to judge yourself. So reflect on what led up to you overeating or binge eating, and just get curious in a very non-judgmental, objective way as to why that actually happened. I always found it easier if I could try and kind of almost step outside of my body and look at myself as if I were my own best friend, and really just look at it as a teaching moment that you can learn from. Try and figure out what the clues were leading up to the binge. What is it that led you there? Were you restricting too much? Were you mentally restricting? Were you physically restricting? Were you having negative thoughts around your body image? Did you wait too long in between meals? Were you not honoring your cravings? Did you have a stressful day? There could be a whole host of different reasons as to why, and none of them are bad. Okay, that is the key here, is to look at it from a non-judgmental place, because they're all valid. And I can guarantee I've probably fallen into every single one of those categories before. But the only way that we learn from it is if we get curious about it and try and figure out what led up to that and what we could do differently next time. So whether that is packing an extra snack if you're going out somewhere and you know that you're not going to be eating for a long time, you don't want to get too hungry. Maybe it's addressing some of your own personal triggers that happened before. It doesn't really matter what the reasons were, but the more you practice, even just writing in a journal or writing down what those triggers were and what happened leading up to that binge, will help you so much the next time. And even if you do slip up the next time, that's perfectly okay. You have to keep making mistakes in order to get better at something. That's literally how we learn. And the last tip goes hand in hand with what I was just saying, and that is just to remember to always be kind to yourself. We're all human. We all make mistakes. I made so many mistakes in my recovery, and that's normal and that's okay. I still continue to make mistakes today. Maybe not so much in this area of my life because I feel like I've healed that, but in all the other areas of my life, I definitely make mistakes. And that's just human, and it's just how we learn. The main thing is that we get up, keep going, and that we learn from them, and that we're kind to ourselves, because no good ever comes from beating yourself up about something that's in the past anyway. That's not going to make anything better. It's not going to make any difference. And negative self-talk, honestly, is something that just keeps you stuck. If you can, try and be positive. Try and speak positively to yourself. I know it sounds cliche, but that really helped me in my recovery. I think that even if you have to stand in front of a mirror and say nice things to yourself, do that, because it will feel weird in the beginning and it will feel really cringy, but it kind of becomes second nature. And the more you say the nice things to yourself, the more you start to believe them, and the less weird and cringy they end up sounding. If you're struggling with this, just know that I have been in your shoes and I understand. I've been there hundreds and thousands of times. I've come out the other side, and there is such thing as 100% true healing. It is possible. No matter what anybody else tells you, it is. And I am living proof of that. The main thing is to keep going, be kind to yourself, and remember, do not restrict, okay? That is gonna be your biggest downfall. You wanna just nourish your body, eat good food, and enjoy your food, and enjoy your life, because life is too short to be miserable. If this video helped you, which I really hope it did, please leave a comment down below letting me know, and I try to get back to as many of you as possible. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm uploading 2 days a week, Sundays and Thursdays, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!